Check, check. Is this thing on? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I'm your host, Dallas, and we are about to paint the bestest of boys, the ultimate doggo of teleportation, the great and wonderful Lockjaw, for the upcoming Inhumans releases, coming to you soon at your friendly local game store next month. And if you paid attention last Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and watched Mr. Will Schick paint his Lockjaw, he did a very traditional sort of Lockjaw. Looks super great. He did a lot of wet blending and stuff like that. And I kind of threw mine to a vote to see what we were going to do, and everybody voted Beagle. So of course I had to do a bunch of Googling to find a Beagle Bulldog mix, and let me tell you, it was the best research I've ever had to do in my life, because there's nothing better than having to look for a bunch of pictures of adorable puppers. Gotta get the right brush. Right, adorable puppers just to paint. So let's just get started. We're going to dip. Switch to that camera. Hello! It's right at his face. So as per usual, I zenith primed my Lockjaw. This is actually not helping me at this point. This is actively hindering me a bit. Because with the Beagle colors, I want more white, especially in the underbelly and in the tops of the legs and stuff like that. So we're going to start building in a little white. I got some reference points up on my screen. Of course, I'm a big advocate of painting with reference. You got to kind of know what you're painting. And I got some white, I got some gray, I got some black. The gray is a very warm gray, so it's got some reds in there. So, and I'm just mixing it all over a wet palette. Let's just see here. Let's kind of do this. I'm not being very specific about my placement. I'm getting a rough idea. Fine. Of just kind of how I want those colors to happen on the miniature. And we'll just kind of dab. And you want that pretty random. You don't need perfect edges. I mean, we also got to put the other colors in there, so those edges will get blended over. This adorable guy I'm looking at has a little sock, basically. So we're going to bring this white down like that. Maybe he's got a little bit more white up on the face. A little more gray, a little more black. So I'm going down. I'm kind of doing the same thing Schick did. Just kind of wet blending it. Yeah, this guy, he's getting a sock. He's getting a sock. This is just whites and blacks and grays working together. Very fast, very loose. I'm just sort of blocking in those colors. Like I said, working from the best reference. Trust me, I searched high and low for many hours for reference of a handsome dog. Well, but it has been a while. It was very unfortunate with the Twitch shutting off last Thursday. Twitch was not working for anybody, so the stream got canceled. So it's been a while. Glad to see everybody. Pastor 97, be ready. You never know when some information may be coming your way. We have not forgotten. Just kind of randomly just choosing some places for our Lockjaw to have areas of white. And I'll refine and shade this as we get further into it. I think he has a white cheek. Where else should be white? There's so many adorable puppies to look at. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm seeing all the adorable puppies. Bring this up from the belly. Around from the belly. Now I'll shade this here later. Once again, the belly. So keeping it fast and loose. And Simone is in here. Hello, Simone. Everybody at Atomic Masters has been working hard, making cool stuff. Stuff we'll talk about soon. Everybody's favorite gaming word. Alright, let's grab some browns. I'm going to grab a little... got like 5 different browns. I'm just going to mix them all together. Get a lovely caramel color. We're going to go in between our areas of white. What is everybody else painting on today? Hopefully you got a pile of miniatures in front of you, able to take a break from the day, sit down and paint with us. Or if you're catching it later on playback, you can sit down in the evening and paint with us. We just like painting with people. As I get down, I'm going to grab a little more my darker brown. As I go under. So we're just wet blending basically. Just letting paint fall where it may. Mixing them together basically on the miniature. Not basically, literally on the miniature. Just keep it moving. Grab different colors. Mix them together. If you pull down, like here where that caramel and then the brown is mixing, if I pull my brush down, the caramel will go down and it'll keep it from mixing up and just making a mess. You want to control where you go. I'm glad I already picked Beagle. I used to have a Beagle when I was young. He was adorable. His name was Reject. I wasn't very good at naming stuff when I was a kid. Log says, what is the best surface to practice wet blending on? Big surfaces are the best to start. Big flat surfaces, so capes. I do like learning on musculature because skin tone is very forgiving because there's no right or wrong skin tone. So you can kind of just make something up and have fun. And, you know, as long as the philosophy is there, you'll make skin tone. So, like, I like big muscly areas. Hulk would be great to practice wet blending on. Big capes, so like Thor would be great to practice wet blending on. I think that paw should be white. Lockjaw. Actually, I like buildings as well, although I do much more like different types of techniques on buildings. But all those are really great places. I like, so the short answer is the big areas. I like the big areas. This feels a little, let's get a little like this. You're really just playing and having fun. There's no... Maybe grab a little white, throw it in there. You can add texture as well. You can start building in some very subtle textures. See here, I'm kind of taking the edge of my brush. It's very, very subtle, but later on I can enhance that. Get real dark down here. I did knock out my Black Bolt that I was supposed to paint last week on stream. I went in and painted him up. Maybe I'll show it off here in a minute if anybody's interested in seeing that. I did post him to the Facebook. Everybody's talking about painting resolutions. I'm actually working on my painting list for the year. I got a whole bunch of projects I want to do. So I find painting lists for the year kind of helps me stay on target, lets me know where I'm at. Finish my X-Men till Sunday. Magneto. What color are you going to do your Magneto? Yeah, Wampa Stomp is right. An hour a day. I always tell people an hour a day will change your life. Right? If you can just find an hour a day. And we can all, and I say we all, like there's always circumstances, of course. Barring, you know, crazy circumstances. You know, you can find an hour a day. Maybe that means you don't watch that one TV show or, you know, whatever. But you can find an hour a day and just spend an hour painting. I mean, I watch TV or movies while I paint. So maybe that helps you. But an hour a day will change your life. You just put an hour a day and next thing you know, you'll have a painted army. Your little force will be painted up. You'll have 10 characters for your roster. Pretty good placement. I'm going to add a little black to the dark brown. Get a little dark muzzle. Maybe it's got a little dark here. There. I'm thinking this ear is dark. This one. This ear is just dark. It's got a dark ear. Just kind of picking and choosing, you know, whatever you think looks cool. I actually chose that because this side is light, so threw a little dark spot on that side. Maybe he's got a spot on his rump. And you actually see there's like a little bit of a paint mistake there anyway, so I just kind of like take that and like lean into it. Like now that's a spot on his rump. I think he needs another dark spot, maybe. Go ahead and darken around his eyes. Just while we're here. This is where I'd normally, I'm right-handed, so I'd normally turn the miniature over. He's so handsome. He's so handsome. Lancelot, yeah, painting is a great time to get some albums that you need to get to. I listen to a lot of music and TV shows when I paint, movies. I love movies when I paint. My kid actually knows when I'm painting when certain movies are being played. I come in and be like, I knew you were painting because, you know, this movie was on. And I'm like, yep, I'm painting. So I'm going to throw, I missed the chin. I'm going to put some brown down there. And I think I'm going to give him a little white spot on his chin. He's going to just get a little white spot just on his chin. Because that's adorable. It's too adorable. I don't really care for this spot over here. This feels a little awkward. So we're going to smooth that out and cover over. Just feels a little contrived. Okay. Just keep working. Throw a little shadow underneath that muscle. And I might use a second brush to start transitioning out. But I'm not going to do any perfect blending or anything. Just having fun with him. Don't forget this is a sock, so the white has to go all the way around. Paint anxiety. Interesting. Curious to know about that. Yeah, I gotta have sound. Like anything. Like the boys in the studio know. Like I gotta have sound. Marco once asked. I think it was when we were interviewing Evan. Ask if he would be okay with Dallas's ridiculous music. Can't help it, Marco. Gotta have all kinds of random nonsense music for me. So I'm just shading in that white. I blocked in the brown, and I'm going to go up and touch the brown up as we go. Kind of redefine like where I want the brown spots, but I'm going to start defining those white spots right now. So getting the shadows in. This is just a gray that's very, very thin. And I can go over, I can get this on the brown, it doesn't matter. I'm not being very particular at this stage. I just want to get the white shaded and defined, but now that I know where the white and the brown are kind of going to end up. Yeah, sometimes, so talking about the painter's block, I know what that's like. Like sometimes you just look at the miniature and you kind of get stumped. And I definitely have done that. You know, I got a project right now that I've been working on in my spare time. And, you know, I kind of got stumped on a color. And, you know, of course, the very first thing I did was I took a picture and I sent it to some friends, right? It was just like, hey, gang, what do you think of this? This is where I'm going. These are my thoughts. What do you think of these color choices? And I threw out some color choices. So like, you know, you gotta have people look at stuff. You know, it's how we do things at even Atomic Mass, right? Everybody takes a look and we get input from every individual because no one's an island. it's a good philosophy to work from. It's like, don't be afraid to get other people's opinions and get some feedback from others. Sometimes sometimes you just don't see it yet. You know. Sometimes you just gotta throw a little paint on the miniature too. Like, just sometimes get stuck in. Just, you know what? Just start throwing paint. Let's see what happens. You know. There's always the conversation about stripping a miniature. Like, I've never had to strip a miniature because, and not because I've never, quote screwed it up. It's just, I'm like, you're never gonna mess it up so bad you can't just fix it, right? You can just fix it. This is the 50 millimeter base. Who asked that? I saw it. Kugelin. No, this is not the 60 millimeter base or 65 millimeter base. That's the 65. This is the 50. I feel like this white should come inside the leg now that I'm there. So what I'm doing here, I want to start putting I want to go to those edges. Use the very tip of my brush to create like a sketchy edge. Kind of show that furriness of this adorable pupper. He's so fuzzy. You think I sing a lot here? That's just real life too. That's part of staying in a studio with me, is you gotta listen to me sing all day. That's just the life. He's gonna have white on this foot. It's not gonna be a sock. It's definitely gonna have white on that foot. So this is what I love about painting these like big organic characters, is you can kind of just have fun and just making it up. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. Just having a good time. You can get the peanut butter mixed into the chocolate. It's good, it's good. And what I'll do, I'll be a little bit more careful when I paint the brown. So I'm going to do the same things, but I want the white to go over the brown there. So that's why I'm doing this. So I'll just be a little more careful as I shade and highlight the browns. But I thought it'd be cool to show this step. I'd probably wait to later to normally do this, like get all the brown and all the white kind of shaded. Jezahu. Lockjaw is probably the model I've been excited to paint since MODOK, just the expression of joy on his face. Yes, absolutely. This was sculpted by our own Mr. Marco Segovia. Had a lot of fun with this. When I threw the concept up, Marco, I was just like, Marco, you want this, right? And Marco was just like, heck yes, I do. And I knew he was going to have fun and really get in there and make the miniature very characterful. It's like you just had to have like a big fun dog. Like what a fun opportunity to just throw a great big fun loving dog into Marvel Crisis Protocol. And so Marco sculpted this fantastic work, and I agree, it's just the expression of joy, and you know, he's just having a good time. So much fun to paint. Like I said, these big characterful miniatures, especially with these big flat surfaces, so much fun to paint because, like I said, you can't really mess them up, right? You're just kind of getting in there and slopping some paint around. C9 Ender, Dallas, are you modeling this scheme after one of your inputs? Technically, yes. Technically, no. I was just saying earlier, I did have a beagle when I was a young lad. His name was Reject. He was a beautiful, beautiful beagle boy. But I did leave the color choice or the scheme up to the community, as I sometimes do. So last Tuesday, you should be watching on Tuesdays. Watch Mr. Will Schick paint as well. He was painting up Lockjaw. He did a more traditional quote quote scheme for Lockjaw. And during that stream, I actually asked the community, and somebody voted Beagle, and so technically the community voted for it, but fortunately it reminds me of my own dog I had when I was a young lad. I don't think I was ever a lad. I don't know if that title's ever been applied to me. I'm just saying it here. Get those fuzzy edges. I want to get those paws. Yeah, unusual characters are a lot of fun. I love MODOK. What a ridiculously amazing design. So much fun and wacky personality. I love those kind of characters. Let's put some fur texture here. Just using the tip of my brush, very lightly touching, getting some tiny lines. Don't want long lines, I want little tiny lines. Been holding, I've seen you since Origins, so it's been a while since I've been to Origins. How's it going? Simone, you're distracted by Schick. You tell Schick to leave you alone, it's paint time. Is Schick in here? He'll yell at me because I said that. Just keep working my way around. Getting those edges. Just shaping them up. Looking at upcoming art while we're on Atomic Mass Transmissions live time, hurtful. A little black in the muzzle, and let's fully blacken in the nose. Need a little gray. Put a little blue in there just to cool it down. Do the top of his nose. Add a little white. Do a little highlight. Doing little dots to show like that texture. Excited about the sneak peek you got earlier. You want to see the rest? Wow, it was a good sneak peek. Now you're just teasing everybody. You're killing me. Do the same thing on the brown sections. We're gonna pull that into the caramel by doing little fuzzy lines on the edges, like so. Add a little white to that brown. Here's some highlights. Messed up, clean up. Second brush, clean it up. Something like that. Fozzie says, painting up my She-Hulk at the moment. Such a nice miniature. And I'm super happy she's my favorite affiliation Avengers. Yeah, She-Hulk was a blast to paint. I actually have another one here to paint. Look at the size of these two. Oh man, I almost grabbed something I wasn't supposed to grab. Hang on. What can I grab? Oh boy, I don't have anything on my desk I can show. Yes, there it is. Look at the size of these two. It's amazing. Oh, Killmonger can ride Lockjaw. Pretty sure Simone has spoilers in the works. So now we're going to do the exact same thing for highlights along the caramel. I'm just going to block in some real quick textury lines. And all these techniques I'm just going to do over every area. So you can do the same thing at home if you find this interesting or inspirational. You know, you don't have to paint it like this. That's your call. Like I said, I typically don't actually add white to create my highlights, but my reference, the caramel colors of the beagle I'm looking at, they do get very, what's the word, grayish. So I think adding the white actually helps this out, gives it a softer look. Simona's always plotting and scheming. I'm always like, I'm just trying to work here. And I'm like, then I hear plot, scheme. That needs to be defined better, but we can get to that. That's all I'm doing. It's all same techniques. I haven't done anything different than we talked about from the very beginning. Just using the same techniques. It's all I'm going to do over and over and over until I get them all finished up. I've got no plots. I got no schemes. Of course, he's got his tongue lolling. I'm just gonna block that in. Of course, he's got slobber. Now I'm kind of regretting we didn't do venomized lockjaw. So we could do like green slobber. Should have painted him venomized. Why did no one think of that till just now? Yeah, Lancelot, right? I was like, why did we not think about that idea? Seriously. I'm gonna have to venomize a lockjaw to go in my web warriors. Jez says, sorely tempted to paint multiple breeds of lockjaw, Dalmatian, Beagle, etc. Sergeant Major Klutz says, never too late to swap the whole skin. That's true. That's all I'm about. Like, it's like I was saying earlier, I've never really thought about like stripping a miniature because I'm always like, I can just paint over it. But I paint very thin. Yeah, of course you need lock pull. Like just paint lockjaw like in with Deadpool's symbol and in red. I'm in lock pull. This is why we come together on Tuesdays and Thursdays to share in this magnificent idea collection. We're the Brain Trust. This is the content I'm here for. Need that paint thinner, it's a little thick. So I'm keeping the paint pretty thin. You can see how thin the paint is. There's very little on the brush, and that's how I get these like really tiny, very thin lines. Plus just the brush is just very small point. That lets me get that fur texture very lightly. You don't have to do a lot of this. I like it because it lets me add, you know, texture, you know, you want texture. It lets it be more organic. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about perfect. No one likes perfect. I love alternate color schemes. I'm a big fan. If you watch this, Chick and I do a lot of alternate schemes. A lot of fun. By doing this on the edge, not only creates that texture of fur to make it feel more organic, but also I can refine that shape that I blocked in earlier and just get a more comfortable shape that looks better to the spots. Once again, there's no wrong shape, there's no wrong color. It's just kind of doing what you think looks cool, feels right. Maybe I want that to go back just a little bit more because it looks a little better. So I push it back a little bit more and it looks a little better. Great. Gwynpole is a very fun design. I really like her design. Right up over that entire muscle. Something like that. Just keep working it. Oh my gosh, only got 10 minutes. Y'all gotta figure out some way to keep me painting. Give me something worthwhile to go over on, so whenever I get in trouble with BK, I can defend myself. I think BK knows already that I'm always trying to go over on time. I just want to paint. I just gotta paint. Looks a little messy, so I'm just gonna refine it. What paints am I? No clue. Sorry. I just throw a bunch of paints on my palette from weeks of projects. It could be literally anything at this point. But I'm a monster like that. I don't even know what names of. I don't even know what the names of some of these are because they've just been on the palette for so long. I've done forgotten. Plus, everything's just a mix. At this point, I've just made a mess. Tuesday and Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Twitch TV / hashtag AMG. I can't remember the codes. I'll probably show them here at the end. So hopefully this technique, looks fun and interesting, and you guys get inspired. Y'all get inspired to maybe get in there and try it out. And you see what I did. Hang on. Get in focus. There we go. Here's a little mohawk. I like that Simone says confirmed monster. Thank you. I know what I am. I know what I am. At least I'm a monster that'll take you to a really good restaurant when you come to visit. Yeah, this Lockjaw definitely reminds me of, like I said, my dog from when I was a kid. And who just doesn't want to paint a big old dog? How can you not be excited to paint a big old dog? Maybe if you're an alien, aliens wouldn't want to paint a big old dog. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm judging aliens too quickly and harshly. Maybe aliens would love to paint a big old dog. I don't know. Never met an alien. I like the way Mr. Davenport thinks. So many little dots. I'm having fun. I love painting like this. So freeing. It's literally like paint, like make a mess. And I'm like, okay, cool. Guess what I love doing? Making messes. Is that actually true? I don't think that's actually true. If you know me, you know that's not actually true. I hate making messes. Yes, Mr. Davenport, it will. I'm going to do the same thing over his dark brown spots. And also as well as the caramel areas. I'll be doing a very similar thing. Just getting the stippling, getting some of that texture. So we just kind of blocked it in, did some refining, and then we'll just keep working. It's like I can switch to the caramel, add some white, and like we started earlier, and I just keep refining that. You know, you can have areas where they mix over one another. That gets that blend there. And on the caramel, I would focus on the highlights. And just let the shades go flat. Maybe just a couple lines to indicate that muscle being pulled. And then on the dark spots, like the ear, I want to take like a burnt umber. Do the same thing. Just mix that right into that edge. Maybe that needs to be a little darker. Big Bad Andy, how's it going? Glad you've made it at the final end, the final moments of our Lockjaw Beagle style. You know what? We're going to go the opposite way actually. Let's bring this in mega dark. That's really make that edge distinct against the caramel. Then we'll start bringing in more of that light color. Bring those two together. Then we'll bring in more highlight. Put a little yellow in there, just a little touch. Thank you, Big Bad Andy. That's an amazing looking dog, he says. Thank you. You really hope a taco fits in his mouth. You know what? Hang on a second. Oh, I'm tethered. I can't grab a taco. The tacos are on the other table. I would show you a taco, but I'm tethered. I forgot. Mr. Gaffar is receiving some poor soul's arm for Rocket. I need that arm, he says. Lockjaw goes and gets it. Oh my gosh, it's 2 o'clock. I'm going to get in trouble for going over. I'm going to put in some highlights. Get in your last questions right now. Now's the time to do it. Remember, every Tuesday, Mr. Will Schick does his painting here at Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Every Thursday, you can join me for some Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. He might fit a whole tray of tacos in his mouth. You're right. And it's a great place to hang out, paint, get some ideas, inspiration, motivation, or whatever else you're looking for to paint up your Marvel Crisis Protocol and just learn some fun. Hopefully learn some fun and new painting techniques and approaches to painting. That's what we're about here. So hopefully you find it enjoyable and you come back next week. I'm just going to keep working on this Lockjaw, and eventually I will post it up on social media over at our official Facebook group. What's that light brown color? It's a mix, Big Bad Andy. It's a little like warm browns and yellows and a little touch of red mixed together and just kind of mushed all over. And then I did a wet blend like Schick did on Tuesday all over, and then I blocked in the white areas. So let me do my obligatory that's me. This, oh man, I grabbed the wrong one. I forgot to grab I didn't grab the social media one. The social media. Check us out on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday. Check us out at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for all your latest news, information, announcements, and all the other fun stuff. We should be back very soon with the next painting challenge for the Instagram, which is always fun. We previewed all the previous ones when we weren't able to search for them. We previewed all those recently. Some really great painting challenge submissions. The staff went through, picked our favorites, and we posted those up. They were a lot of fun, really great stuff. So hopefully we get back into that. So until Tuesday, check out Mr. Will Schick. Next Thursday, you can come join me again. I'm just going to keep working on this. Don't tell anybody I'm supposed to be working, but I'm just going to keep painting on this. We'll catch you later. Bye, guys. Be safe and be the heroes you need to be. Peace. Bum, 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 bum. Lockjaw with his big tongue. Teleporting dog, he's the best.